Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
Good morning. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the deal spec for studio number 2. And honestly, with Fit Studios, like, owning gym is going to be, like, life-changing, but it's not like FU money, buy a boat, move to Barbados kind of money. So what is give an outline on the financials of everything? So that's what I'm in the first time I really expose it, because this is all on paper. So this is not my actual experience. Productive dark. So this is what eventually will be happening, but not right now. Like the first month, I got punched. I think we lost $8,000 the first month. Second month, we had a profit of like $15,000, and that's like cash based. So that means from that one particular month, we now make that sale. But one of the nuances with like last month's profit, a lot of those are annual paid in full members. People do a one-time credit card swipe, and then I'll have 12 months of back. So for $1,600, I now have to spread that membership revenue out over 12 months to build that. So every member did a paid in full membership of like 280 members, $1,500 a piece. That's $420,000. Is that math right? $420,000, and I have to spread that over a year. So in that first month, everything looked real juicy, a high profit month. But now every month thereafter, like, well, I got $35,000 a month in expenses. $35,000 times 7 or 12, that's $420,000. That's a why. Like, we will not have a business profit. And so I'll say, like, yeah, it's nice when you have that big pop of a month. You have like that 1 month bump. But most months, like 2 months, probably like a break even, maybe lose money. Then 1 month you have like a $10,000 or $15,000 bump. And so it was surprising. And so putting it out there, my fellow franchisees now know what we're doing. When everything is peaches and roses, then that's where it's at. With studio number 2, on paper they do about $550, $600 a year in revenue. And this past year, what I'm buying is that this year they're anticipated to do about $180,000 in profit. And that's like SDE, everything. So some of the stuff in there is not going to be like true business profit. For SDE, like if your car payment, your cell phone bill is inside that, you deduct it off. So like the actual profit might be like 70 if like the actual bill, but not like you get the lifestyle like a brand new phone and a phone plan. So SDE is like 180. But here's what I wanted to bring this all out. Not to say like I'm making 180 plus 150. I'm not making 330. I won't be making 330 a year. That is ridiculous. For the first business, I've got, I don't remember the monthly payment. It's like $6,000 a month for the SBA payment. So that's like $72,000 a year. So 150 goes down to 80. But now I gave pay raises and stuff to my staff. And so now that, what was it? That $80,000 now goes down to like 55, because I give a pretty good bonus to my management team. 55. There was a lack of marketing upon the acquisition day, so I'm below what the historical performance has been. So 55 goes down to like 30, and then pay myself an annual salary of like $40,000. That's what it is. So I'm realistically, after paying out, then there's the seller note. Then I have to pay after the seller note, which doesn't technically have to start for a year, but that'll be like $1,000 a month. So the reality is the first gym, it's going to lose $20,000 first year. So this business profiting $150 a year, I'm going to lose $20,000 in the business. And granted, I'll be paying myself like $30,000 or $40,000. So like I'm in the green by $20,000, but I'm basically like paying myself $20,000 a year to own a business that on paper has been $150 a profit a year. That is shocking. The SBA, and for the business, I think I pay like a 3x multiple on profit. And so that's why when you look at these small businesses, you're like, don't go above a 3x. Don't go above. You're like, why? Like, companies in the stock market trading 12 times earnings. Why can't a small business be above it? If you go above with 3x earnings and you pay yourself like minimum wage, the business makes no money. If that's the cost of buying a business at 3x. Now, the reason why I did it is because I am pretty dang good when it comes to marketing systems, technology integration, and making this thing sing like an orchestra. The prior owner had, I'll just throw a number out there, 15 different software subscriptions. And I know of a software that can do 15 of those things. It can probably do 12 of them all on one platform that's 90% cheaper than all of those subscriptions combined. So I know how to save some money on the technology side. I know how to create the marketing systems, the drip campaigns, the text automations, landing pages. I know how to hire VAs. I know how to outsource and network. And the prior owner was a very much do it yourself. Do it right, do it yourself. I know how to do this. I'm going to be the hardest worker in the room. And I want to be the most delegated person in the room. And so all I had to say, for the business that makes $150 a year, and now I'm paying myself $20,000 a year, yeah, that's why you need to stay with below a 3x multiple. For the second studio, that was a little bit juicier. That probably did like 600 in revenue and 180 in profit on the, if everything goes as the seller wants to be. That one's not selling at like a 3.2 multiple. So that one's going to be like 90. So let's start with that. So 180 a year in profit. We'll say it turns out as good as it possibly can. 180. I'm going to have an SBA payment of 90 grand a year. That'll adjust, but like keep it clean, 90. So now my take-home profit is 90. So and I are doing a deal where I'm going to pay him off a little early. So that's going to be $3 grand a month for the first 3 years. So now that 90 that I pay myself is down to 55. I'm going to give the staff bonus or raises and bonuses. 55 now goes down to 35. I'm going to be cynical and pessimistic and assume the seller is not going to fully keep the marketing up as they ought to, which I put in the contract that they have to keep the same historical marketing for the prior 90 days as well as last year's marketing pace, so that they're not going to like save $3 grand to then hose me out of 10 grand. So I'm going to be pessimistic that 90 down to 55, down to 35. I'm going to be pessimistic and assume there's going to be a drop for the first month or two. That 35 is now down to 15. I'm making 15 grand a year the first year. That is off. So 15 grand, and the business in the past year has done $180,000 in profit. Guys, this is not going to change my life. That's for the first 3 years. So after 3 years, that $3,000 a month seller payment's going to go away. So in 3 years, yeah, I'll be paying myself not 15, but $50,000 a year. From then things will bounce back up, but $15,000 the first year plus the other $20,000 a year, $35,000 to go through all this headache and hassle. And there's going to be hiring needs. There's going to be people that quit. There's going to be raises to the rent. There's going to be insurance that has to happen. There's going to be shrinkage. Guys, $35,000 to $40,000 to own two businesses, to manage sales, to handle the volatility and the night sweats and the stress. This is why you stay below a 3x multiple. Now, I'm happy for this because this is my first exposure to brick and mortar small business owners. I want that on my resume. I want that on my LinkedIn. I want that on my track record so that I start in this whole world of self-employment, business ownership, and start doing something smartly. Now, there's a couple ways you can evaluate, is this a smart move on Nathan's life? Let's check this out. So on an income side of things, I am, at the end of the first year, I will spend $45,000 because the first business was like $45,000 down payment. Okay, $45,000 down. So I pay $45,000 a year. Let's just say that's my college education. College is a lot more than 45 grand, but let's pretend it is. And now I'm making 35 the first year off of that. That's probably not terrible. let's double those sides. A college, let's say you go to community college, state school, that's $90,000 to now make $50,000 your first year. Okay, that's not abnormal. It's pretty on par with a college experience. So okay, it's about on par with college. But now let's consider the time factor. If you did this for should I go to college, not college, owning these businesses, they're fully staffed, they're existing, they have in process. There's not a whole lot of ramp to get things going like you would in a career. Okay, so my time per week right now with one studio is about 5-7 hours. So with two studios, we'll say it's 10 to 15 hours. So I'm working a third of the time to make $35,000 a year. Annualized, that's like $100,000 a year. Okay, that's not too bad. That's a worthwhile endeavor. If it was a day job, that's my assuming I don't do anything more and I don't grow anything, that's where we're starting at. Let's look at it on the income side. Is this a good day job for me? Yeah, this is a pretty good job. Let's look at it from an investment side. Right now in the alternatives, in the S&P 500, historically, it's 7% return on your money per year. So $50,000 into this investment, after a year, you make $3,000 back. Okay. In this case, now this is where it gets interesting. $45,000 in to now the first year you put $50,000 in, and now you come home with 35. So technically you lose money your first year. You lost 15. But let's look at a 2-year perspective. 2-year perspective, you put down 50, you got back 35, so you're in the whole 15. Then the next year you get back 35. Now you're in the green 20. So after 2 years, you're up $20,000 after you put in 50. Because you made that. You put in 50, and after 2 years, you bring home 70. That's what, like a 40% return on your money? 40% for 2 years. So that's 20% a year. That's really good, actually. That's really good on a 2-year time horizon. So on the investment side, that's actually pretty good compared to the 7% stock market. Other investments I'm seeing, and I'm a real estate guy, so like common real estate investment in the stock market is a REIT, a real estate investment. Basically, it's like buying shares of a company, and the company owns hundreds of apartments, buildings, and rent. Those typically have a higher yield of like 12%, 10% a year. It's a little bit higher, but you don't get any gain. But still 20% on owning a business compared to 10% owning like a shares of stock in an apartment company. That's actually pretty good. Now let's look at other folks that buy rental properties here in the Twin Cities. What they call it is cap rate. Basically your annual return on investment. They call it something fancy called cap rate. A typical cap rate right now, if you were to go out and buy an actual building yourself, is about 5%. That's like a business office. 5% return on your money. You get some tax write-offs, you get some depreciation, you get some non-ROI benefits, but like basically it's like a 5, maybe a 7% return on your money. It's really good owning a business compared to that. Now let's go crazy and say you're gonna buy like a rental family house. So you buy a house and then you make money. A typical rental home, you put down $50,000 to $80,000 to make $200 a month profit. After all expenses, all its costs and deductions, make $200, maybe $300. Maybe. In today's market, that's pretty rare. Right now, these businesses, if they're making $35,000 a year, we'll just call it $3,000. I put down $50,000 to make $3,000 a month. That's 10 times better than buying a rental house. 10 times better. That's a no-brainer that buying a rental property is a terrible idea compared to buying a small business. Now, these are the juiciest small businesses I found. I looked at 62 other studios before I settled on these two. So this is the cream of the crop scenario. This is the juiciest possible out there. But in hindsight, I should have. I'm glad I'm getting exposed. I'm getting this on my resume, small business ownership. I'm going to have this experience and the exposure, street cred with investors, with banks, with franchisors. So it's going to open up a lot of doors that's never been opened up before. And like this podcast, I'll get speaking engagements from that. Cool. However, for folks that are looking to buy a small business, do not stretch your standards to get into a deal. This first year, making $35,000 off of something that the prior guys made $300,000 on, yeah, make sure your numbers are airtight and you add some pessimism in, because it's never going to be as juicy as you think it's going to be. Now, this is a good investment because it opens up doors, new income sources for myself, like speaking, books, podcasts, partnerships. It's also going to open up the resume. So it's worthwhile for me because it's more than just annual income or the growth. But wanted to open up the book. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And we're going to change lives through the fitness studio. Wanted to get something transparent because I've been pretty tight to the vest. And I want to tell people that this is how I evaluated it. And this is what the reality looks like at the end of it. So don't throw all your money in until you're ready to rock and roll. Speaking of that, let's rock and roll.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.